Welcome back. And some breaking news coming in. We've just received news that the Prime Minister's seaplane has just landed on the pond of the Dharoi Dam. These are the visuals of that seaplane landing at the Dharoi Dam. We just, in fact, heard a report from India Today's Jumana Shah about just how excited and eager are the people there who have come in large numbers to see this big show that has been put up by the BJP. The Prime Minister there arriving in the seaplane, and it's just taking that turn there. Now the Prime Minister will also be visiting the very famous Ambaji temple in Mehsana. This is the last day of campaigning, and clearly this act that has been done, the Prime Minister entering the seaplane, has caught a lot of attention. We could hear a lot of cheering and shouts in praise of the Prime Minister from those who have arrived in huge numbers to greet and also see the Prime Minister during his visit. And Jumana Shah, in fact, a short while back was just telling us about the importance of the Dharoi Dam that provides water to more than 1,800 villages, the significance of this dam, and thereby the residents here are extremely excited and eager to see the Prime Minister descend from the seaplane and arrive in a short while. Let me go straight across now to Jumana Shah, who joins us now. And Jumana, we're just seeing the visuals there of the amphibious seaplane making its landing after it took off from the Sabarmati river. And I was just making a reference, to your earlier report about just the excitement and the eagerness that people have there to greet the Prime Minister and see him coming out of the seaplane.
Yes, Avantika, today is the last day of campaigning for the second phase, and this is the area we are in Mehsana district right now. So Mehsana district will poll on a day after morning, and this is a very, very exciting moment for them. They are probably don't seem to realize, and they are not connecting it with elections. When I was talking to them and I asked them, so the polling day for you is day after tomorrow morning, and they were like a little surprised that, oh yeah, right, really, okay, we forgot about that. But that said, they are really excited to see their Prime Minister come from air and land in water. Most of these are rural area, people from the rural areas, and they are, it's sort of out of their imagination that something like this could even happen, that someone can land in water, that an airplane could actually land in water. So it's an interesting sort of, a way to project the development of Gujarat. When you have
and the purpose then, Jumana, interestingly, has in a way been achieved by the BJP to grab all the attention, to grab the eyeballs on the last day of campaigning, with the Prime Minister, using a very innovative way to reach Dharoi Dam and pay his respects at the Ambaji temple.
Yes. I think it's a master stroke, fantastic campaigning strategy that has been taken over by the BJP. From here, from Dharoi, he will proceed to Ambaji for an hour-long road show. So in between, in rural areas, he will be greeting people on the outskirts of villages, on the state highway, and there might be very short interactions also at some point. And then he will proceed to Ambaji, where he will pay his respects at the temple and then come back on the same way. So this is pretty much an elaborate campaign that has happened in these areas, and it has really uplifted the spirits of this area. And people are seeing their Prime Minister in an area where they had never thought that they would see him in flesh and blood. So, while it's at a distance, the excitement here is very, very palpable. As you can see on the screen, the aircraft has gone close to the anchor, and the Prime Minister will step out of that onto the anchor where the red carpet is. And from there, he will proceed onto the dam, and then by road, he will go on to Ambaji. I believe the sea aircraft has finally anchored. It's a very interesting combination. We are talking about air and sea at the same time.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
The aircraft is finally anchored, and the Prime Minister, I believe, is about.
No, and how interesting to link this to development, because if we just speak of the seaplane itself and its capabilities and the significance of it, they are immense. I mean, in comparison to a chopper, this seaplane can be used in search and rescue missions. It can carry far more passengers in comparison to a chopper. It can fly longer distances. So interesting how the BJP has tried to, talk on development and use the seaplane for this short distance travel from Sabarmati river to the Dharoi Dam.
Right. That is absolutely the case. And launch of sorts of a service which is going to be made available in a few months, we believe, for the people of Gujarat at large. Let's remember that Gujarat has the highest coastline, 1,600 kilometers, the longest coastline in the country. And there is a lot of potential for sea travel, for waterways, and there is so much. I mean, the Sabarmati is, Ahmedabad itself, we can cut down travel time by very, very long hours, if I may say, if we could travel by water, as we see in European countries. It is absolutely the norm, to travel. Its role of
all right.
I'm sorry, I'll have to cut off.
Yes, that's all right. That's all right, Jumana. The Prime Minister there arriving at the Dharoi Dam in the Seaplane and to a rousing welcome, a rousing reception there by the residents of Mehsana, who have arrived in huge numbers. And it seems that all of the issues that the people had been talking about seems to be in the past, because really the attention, the focus is on the seaplane, and that's the red carpet welcome being given to the Prime Minister, who is now at Dharoi after the seaplane took off from the Sabarmati river. And interestingly, he tweeted the same about this short journey, the distance that he covered in the seaplane, about just how it's not possible to build airports everywhere, so we will focus on waterways. An innovative approach there on the last day of campaigning by the Prime Minister, and the seaplane, really hogging all the limelight, literally becoming the talk in the town. The Prime Minister waving out to the excited residents of Mehsana, and he is there being greeted by the officials, and he's also going to be paying a visit to the temple there, the Ambaji temple. Jumana Shah was talking about the significance of the Dharoi Dam and just how important such a lifeline it is to the various villages in the surrounding areas. It provides water to about 1,800 villages, and some of them in fact saying that this is nothing short of a miracle. They have never in their lives seen a seaplane arriving on this dam, and a great treat was awaiting for them to see the Prime Minister himself in person arriving in this seaplane to greet the people of Mehsana, and also then to pay a visit to the temple, the Ambaji temple in Mehsana. All of this happening on the last day of campaigning. Now the Congress, the opposition in fact, has been quite quick to hit at the BJP, calling this nothing but mere optics, a show that has been put up by the BJP, trying to digress from the main issues of development. But right now the talk is really about the Prime Minister's arrival in this fashion, in the seaplane, him getting into his vehicle right now, and he will, what Jumana was just telling us, he is going to be addressing a lot of rallies. He's going to be meeting a lot of people today during the course of the day. He's also going to be beginning the day by paying a visit to the Ambaji temple in Mehsana. And what we hear is that he is also expected to fly back to Ahmedabad the same way. So he will be taking the seaplane to fly back to Ahmedabad as well. That's the information that one is getting as well. So the Prime Minister arriving at the Dharoi Dam after taking off from the Sabarmati river in this seaplane, and the BJP just talking about the significance of the seaplane and how important it is in today's times. But the opposition quite circumspect, quite wary of the promises being made by the BJP, asking if whether the seaplane will actually be put to use for rescue missions or any other purposes other than just ferrying the Prime Minister from one place to the other. So these are the visuals coming in right now from the Dharoi Dam. The Prime Minister has already arrived, and as you can see there, the security is unprecedented. Jumana is back with us, and Jumana, we are just seeing the cavalcade of the Prime Minister making its way ahead, and in the backdrop I can hear a lot of excited voices. Clearly the talk of the town will be the Prime Minister arriving in a seaplane on the Dharoi Dam. I mean, that's something that really has hogged all the limelight. Forget about the issues related to the elections. It's really this spectacular fashion in which the Prime Minister has made his arrival.
It so happened that be it the Ram Mandir or be it Manishankar Iyer, all of it has really taken a back seat now, because the cheers are now for the seaplane. It is not going back any
Okay, we'll get back to you, Jumana, and one can understand there the Prime Minister is in the area, and jammers would have been put. And just take a look at it. The Prime Minister, in fact, just stepping out of his vehicle and waving out to the crowds, to the excited, residents of Mehsana who are there at the Dharoi Dam. They have been there since the very early morning, clicking pictures of the Prime Minister, waving out to them. And as Jumana was saying, all of the issues, all of those, personalized attacks, other issues related to the state of Gujarat seems to be now passé. The only topic that's being discussed or being talked about is the Prime Minister's arrival in a seaplane, and the people there, as you can see, in such huge numbers, who have been eagerly awaiting for the Prime Minister to visit the area, greeting him excitedly, clicking pictures. In fact, they don't have access to the Prime Minister, but clicking pictures of the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister also, giving them that attention, just standing up outside, waving out to the excited crowds. And just take a look at the number of people. It seems to be a huge number of people there who have arrived and are now looking forward to the Prime Minister's stay in Mehsana, who will also be visiting the temple, the Ambaji temple in Mehsana on the last day of campaigning. And can you imagine, this is happening on a day when Rahul Gandhi also earlier in the morning paid a visit to the Jagannath temple. But clearly this seems to be a master stroke by the BJP, this entire plan of having the Prime Minister take off from the Sabarmati river in a seaplane for the very first time in a very grand way, and then that seaplane arriving at the Dharoi Dam, and the Prime Minister being given a red carpet welcome. The opposition clearly crying foul. They're saying that this is nothing but mere theatrics, it's just optics, questioning the usage of these seaplanes when there is a genuine need of the same. And this in fact has been the first instant of a seaplane at least taking off from the Sabarmati rivers. It has been done in the past as well, in Mumbai especially, but it's interesting right now to see the reception that the Prime Minister is receiving from the people of Mehsana. On the last day of campaigning, he's going to be there the whole day. He's going to be addressing a few rallies as well. And then what we hear is that he will be leaving for Ahmedabad. And clearly, the arrival of the Prime Minister in the seaplane has drawn the maximum attention from the excited crowds who have assembled in such huge numbers. Jumana Shah is back with us. And Jumana, just take us through what you're seeing around you. Take us through the reactions that you're getting in from the people who were seen cheering, waving out excitedly to the Prime Minister, clicking his pictures. This really has been a sight to see the Prime Minister's arrival from the seaplane.
This was the first of its kind. I think the people never thought that they would have to, witness something like this. Especially this is this is unplanned. They were not expecting this. It will happen for the last, let's say, 4 or 5 days or something. Generally, a Prime Minister's program is well planned. So this has really come as a pleasant surprise. Learned that something like this is happening, and it was everything has been rushed through, and I must say the planning here is fantastic. One cannot really figure out if this is a last minute planning. So there is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there would be a crowd of about 4,000 people. And this is a very, very clear estimate, who gathered here from villages around, and they were saying that we never thought that there could something come from air and land in sea or land in water. So
True.
because Gujarat is such a long coastline, there is so much potential to travel from one place to another. And there is also already talk officially. There is talk of this seaplane being used for tourism purposes. So because the capacity of the seaplane is not very much, and we understand that it may not be available for commercial use in terms of goods or other services, but at least for medical and tourism services, we believe that it will be available fairly soon. We have not been given a number yet, as a number of time, days, months, or whatever, but soon is what we've been told. Avantika.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Jumana. I'm going to keep coming back to you. And clearly, the arrival of the Prime Minister in a seaplane is hogging all the limelight. It's the talk of the town. That's the only thing that the people are talking about, at least in Mehsana.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.